It's 2 a.m., you haven't slept yet, they haven't slept yet. What do you do? Well, hopefully I can help. My name's Stephen Tocher. I've been in a great relationship for 10 years. I have 3 little kiddos, and I've been helping over the past 20 years mentor thousands of parents when it comes to their family, their fitness, their finances, and their faith. And I'd like to help a million more over the next 40 years. So let's talk about it. So today I want to go through these 7 tips and tricks that have helped us over the years when you have a crying newborn. All right, so the first one, as we jump right into it, is love and skin to skin. Sometimes they just need to get picked up. Sometimes they just need to know that you're there, and that's okay. A lot of times when it's really late at night and you're very tired, you don't feel like picking them up, but they're crying, they need you. And I always think of it as this way: if you had a spouse in the other room crying in the middle of the night, you wouldn't just like shut the door or walk away from them. You'd go and ask them what's going on. You'd go and pick them up. And sometimes it's just that simple. They just want you to pick them up and tell them that it's okay in their own little unique way. Number 2 is sometimes they might be struggling with gas. Sometimes they might be having issues. They're in a bit of pain. And they can't speak. It's really difficult for these little ones at this age. Like we've been very blessed that the first 2 kiddos that we've had, they spoke really, or they were able to communicate at a young age, sometimes even with some sign language at around 9 months or so. So that has really helped us to be able to get ahead of any of the problems that they were having with their bodies. But during this, really, young formative time, which we're in right now, you have these little tears and these cries and these screams that are just almost intolerable for your parent's heart to deal with. And one of the things that you can do is communicate with them properly. So you have to kind of move them around and try to see if maybe there's a pain, maybe there's an allergy, maybe they're just super gassy. Maybe mommy, had a salad. Maybe mommy had some different food. And this is not to blame mommy. It's just the baby may not be too happy about the foods that are being eaten. Or maybe it's the flow of the milk. Maybe the milk is just flowing way too fast, or it's just not thick enough, there's not enough nutrients, and you might want to look into a haka. So that would be number 2, is the pain and gas side of things. It might be as simple as just getting them up and giving them a burp, changing their position when it comes to the way you hold them. We're finding that our son really enjoys having his head just above the shoulder with the neck being protected, and just the burps will get out his gas, especially for his toots, and he's got some monster toots. Number 3 would be hunger. Usually they're on a pretty interesting schedule when it comes to sleep. They're all over the place, and when it comes to their feeding habits, it can go up and down. So they do something called cluster feeding. So with our daughters, usually it was like 8 to 12 times per day at the beginning. But with our son, this guy's packing it away. He's going anywhere from around 10 to 16 times in a day. Now that doesn't happen very often, the 16. We've only had maybe 2 or 3 of those. But sometimes it's just he needs to keep eating, or she needs to keep eating. So, you just have to try your best to gauge, right? And I that's why I didn't put it at the number 1 spot, because usually the parent, even if you're a new parent, you'll be able to kind of figure out their rhythm pretty quickly. And it's something that you'll try right away. But it's just, something that can sometimes be superseded by just getting rid of some gas. And you don't want to also overfeed them. So number 3 would be hunger. Number 4 would be the position of how they're laying down. Sometimes they've been laying down in the same position for too long. Their neck, you see sadly a lot of little kids with flat heads. They're just like in the same position all the time. You want to kind of keep them moving. They're very flexible, they're very malleable, but you have to be very concerned about like SIDS, getting them to sleep on their stomach. You want them to sleep on their back with no obstructions, especially when they're newborns, because they can't do anything. They're just flipping and flopping their hands, and they may move side to side. Thankfully, at this very, very young age, they won't be able to roll over that I know of. I haven't heard any really, under 2-month babies doing that. But you want to just maybe look into their position. Maybe they're a little stressed. They got little muscles too. Some people will take their kids to a physiotherapist or even a baby chiropractor. Not something we've done, but we do try to give our babies like little gentle massages and make them feel as comfortable as possible. All right, so number 5 would be a diaper change. Sometimes you're so exhausted in the middle of the night and you forget, they've pooped. Maybe you were sleeping when they're sleeping, and they just get up in the middle of the night. They're not hungry. You're trying to burp them. They're not farting. And then you've even tried the skin to skin and hugging them and squeezing them and loving them and singing to them. And sometimes it's just they got a big old little dump in their little diaper, or they peed a lot, or they might even have a rash. And that rash can be super irritating. They can't say anything. They have this newborn skin. It's so delicate. So, take a look. There's a couple different diaper creams that I can even put in the description that you could look into. And then there's like a zinc oxide type cream as well. So there are different ways that you can get that bum to feel a little bit better. So you want to definitely maybe try to look into a cream that might help them. And there are some, I think, really natural creams as well, if you're kind of worried about the chemicals. But you don't, you just got to test out and see what cream may work the best. The third is mobility. Sometimes we'll just kind of have to pick them up, and move them around. Sometimes you hold them and walk. Sometimes you're doing squats. I actually had a former boss who had 4 daughters. And each of the daughters wanted a different form of movement. So his first daughter was lunges. She really liked lunges. His second daughter, I think, loved stairs. His third daughter was all about the squats. And his fourth daughter loved walking at a quick pace. And in all of those, you really got to keep the head and neck very secure because they're flopping all over the place. At this time, their head is probably like 1/3 of their body, somewhere in there. The exact percentage, I don't know. But sometimes they just like the mobility. There's been multiple nights with all 3 of our kids where they just wanted us to be moving around and just feel, I don't know, the wind in their hair, I guess, something along those lines. And number 7, it could be as simple as the temperature. They might be in a cool or hot room. They might have too many layers on, too few layers. It's not something that I would go for right away, but you do have to be concerned about them overheating or being super cold. Again, they can't say too much. They don't have the same body we do, the same sweat glands, as well as they can't protect themselves. Usually, they have to keep their head, their face and everything very clear of any obstructions. You may not even want to wear a hat on their little heads just in case there's a problem in the middle of the night. So as all that heat is escaping their face and their head, or they're overly wrapped, you want to try your best to give them that opportunity to breathe as well as possible, or to be as bundled up as tight as possible, because you never know if a quick little draft will come in and disturb them greatly. So those are the tips and tricks I've learned over the past 5 years with our 3 kiddos so far. If I missed any, please share that in the comments section below. And if you have any questions, I would love to get back to them. So as I land the plane here, I'll just go through them quickly. And, it's just one of those blessings to be able to share this information the 3rd time around. I always thought of it with the first 2. I'm like, it'd be cool as a dad to share this type of information with other dads, other parents. And now I have this wonderful opportunity, as we've had some nights, let me tell you, the past little while, especially with that 16 feed night, you're getting a few hours sleep here and there. So very, very thankful to be in a different stage in our lives. And we don't have it on lockdown, we're always learning, but we're getting better at it. And in the different areas of life, as I've mentored and life coached people, it's nice to add this layer of anecdotal information and experience, and I hope it is super helpful. So again, the top 7 for myself was, sometimes they just need to be picked up. They need some love. They need some skin to skin. Number 2, it could be gas. It could be pain that they're experiencing. So you want to kind of take a look for any rashes or issues or maybe allergies they might be having. Number 3 is hunger. Sometimes they just need to get fed a lot. or it might be the type of food that they're intaking through the breast milk, and maybe that's through mama, or maybe mama's stressed, and dads, try to make mamas as less stressed as possible, and do the best you can to create a loving environment. Number 4 would be position. You want to give them the opportunity to, maybe feel different positions so they don't get like a flat head or they don't have stressed out muscles. Number 5 would be a full diaper or a diaper rash, maybe a peed up diaper, or maybe the diaper has leaked and it's irritating a new part of skin. They have very fresh skin. Number 6 would be mobility, the way you as a parent moves, or maybe you don't move. The other thing I forgot to mention is sometimes they'll love the car seat. They'll love being in a different different like seat. So sometimes we would gently move the car seat side to side to get our daughters to sleep, because they loved the side to side motion over the forward backward. And then number 7 would be the temperature, because temperatures can switch and we can regulate very well. Babies just can't. They are, especially if you're a first-time parent, I cannot emphasize it enough. They are helpless without you. And you need to try your best to be in the right even keel and the right mental state, and you'll be all right. You'll be all right. Such is life. There's a lot of things that go on, and we all make our mistakes. Just wanted to help you to get out in front of it. If you don't mind liking and sharing this video, that would be amazing, especially with a new parent. If you'd like to watch any other dad doing dishes videos, you can do that over here. If you'd like to watch a video on picky eaters, you can watch that one over here. And if you'd like to subscribe, you can do that over here. I'm Stephen Tocher. I just want to say thank you so much for watching. Have yourself a wonderful day, evening, morning, or night. God bless.